dear bones. Or should I say Margot? The last time we saw Margot was during the events that occurred at the Ruby Foo Hotel. The Ruby Foo's Hotel, where you and Elise and Fiona had gone in to try and rescue your ward, Cecilia. You had encountered there a number of distressing things, including a very old Zimshi named Ruby, who had a whole wall made of people, so that was that. And you also found the Enfant Terrible, the Red Menace that you've been following and searching for. You managed to kill him, but you kind of got the feeling that it wasn't the last of him. At the end of the evening, Elise had told you that she needed Cecilia for something, and you allowed Cecilia to go home with Elise. And you yourself took off. You made a promise to Ruby whilst in her domain to return to see her. She helped you and helped you find Cecilia and helped you deal with the Enfant Terrible. And so you've been gone now for about a month out of the city after all of these events. You felt you needed to clear your head. Perhaps you had been in contact with something in the dark, deep abyss, something that called itself grandmother or something like that, and it had been reaching out to you and talking to you and being too sure exactly what's going on with all these things. You went off to, as I said, take a little breather, give yourself a little space. As you are returning now to Montreal after about a month or so gone, hey Varl, thank you so much for the night move for our friend Margot.
Thank you.
You find yourself in your truck, because Margot strikes me as someone who drives some kind of truck.
Historically, she is a public transit girly.
Oh.
But I feel like she would have maybe bought like an old Bronco. I feel like she's a Bronco girl. Like a 90s like OJ Simpson Bronco, not a new Bronco.
Exactly. Yeah, that's 100% what you have. And as you pull into the parking lot of the Ruby Foos, what exactly is on Margot's mind? What's her state of mind? What's going on with Margot? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's happening right now.
I think of their time away, or time prior, rather, from going away, I think was met with a lot of obsessive over the terrible child, obsessive over perhaps the possibility of reconnecting with Dr. Michaud, and then, of course, with looking after Cecilia. Now that she's been gone, I think she's been given the opportunity to sort of filter a lot of those thoughts out and organize what she feels. I think right now her main goal is to get back to Cecilia, or what she thinks might be Cecilia, and most pressing, her deal with Ruby.
And as you pull up into the parking lot, so it's interesting to note where this hotel is in Montreal. It's at the top of the Highway 15, and across the highway from it, there's this giant orange. There's a restaurant called the Orange Julep, and it's this ginormous orange, and there are race cars. People bring their cars there to kind of hang out, like, it's kind of a Fast and Furious kind of scene in that parking lot, and so there's always cars around, there's always people around. As you pull up into the parking lot, the other thing that you see that has changed a bit since you were here last is that pyramid that has been going up for the last little while, is actually just beyond that giant orange. And as you look at it now, you can see that it's basically, the outside is nearing completion. It's this giant dark glass pyramid that seems to absorb the light more than reflect it, really. There are streaks of silver in it, but it gives you this strange sense of foreboding. The other thing you notice as you pull in is that the parking lot across the street, the giant orange, is empty. There are no cars. It's dark. And the parking lot here also, the hotel itself is dark and appears empty. There's not a single light around. Everything is quiet. What would you like to do?
I think Margot, she sort of stuffs her keys into her pocket and steps confidently. Being a Lasombra, she probably feels most at home within the shadows, and knowing that she can manipulate that darkness. So she sure-footedly starts walking in.
Immediately, you realize things are kind of off kilter. The place is empty and it looks like it's been empty for years. You remember you were here about a month ago. There was a big fundraiser. There were, big pockets from around the city. There was a bunch of people. The rooms were all basically mostly full. But now it looks like the place has been empty for years. There's dust and debris and everything is really run down. There's really nothing working. It feels like this empty place.
I have a question, Blake, and sort of a mechanical question.
Mhm.
Being a Lasombra, technology does weird stuff around me.
Yes.
Does that mean that I cannot use like a cell phone and
No, I don't play it that way. I play
Mhm.
it that it's always kind of wonky, and
Yeah.
sometimes it may not work, or it just is very temperamental around you. Also, the fact that you tend not to show up on cameras and images and things of that nature. But yeah, you
Okay.
can use a cell phone. However, you notice this is a very old hotel, so I'm just saying this in case you prefer that. But there would be a couple of payphones at the entrance, and they're still there. But if you want to use cell phone, you can totally do that also.
I like the idea of using a payphone for the nostalgia factor. So as she's walking up, I think that Margot immediately dials a familiar number to Vico.
After a couple of rings, he answers. Of course, you realize he's not going to have any sort of call display because you're calling from a payphone.
Mm-hmm.
And he stops for a second. And you can tell that he's waiting for you to speak before he says anything because he doesn't know who's on the other line. On the other end of the line.
Did you miss me?
You know you don't have to use a phone to contact me, right?
Call it an old habit, perhaps.
Of course I missed you. It's been very busy here. But
Yeah, I can tell.
are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm just dealing with an obligation. I'm in town. Just keep your ear to the ground. Here at Ruby Foo's.
Did you hear about what happened with your ward and Elise?
No. What happened?
Turns out it wasn't your ward.
Fuck.
It was a demon called a Goetia. It's a type of demon that takes on the form of a loved one or someone that you're in need of or are searching for, and they brought it back to their house. It attacked Elise, almost killed Elise. It killed Elise's friend Faraday before we managed to kill it with Fletcher and I.
Is Elise okay?
She was fine now, but she was injured very badly in the attack. Almost died, but she's okay now.
Holy shit.
Whatever we've been tangling with is very powerful. You missed this, but a couple of weeks ago, whoever's behind all of this, whoever's running that black pyramid, this Kalome person, used magic in a way I've never seen before. They killed the Ventru Primogen literally by folding him and his car into non-existence in the middle of the street in broad nightlight.
What the fuck?
We've been maneuvering since then, trying to figure out exactly what's going on and what it's all about. We have some new information, an inkling of some things now. Things are moving quickly, but it all originates from that black pyramid.
Not to mention it's a fucking eyesore. Listen, where I'm at, this obligation I have, I'll see what I can find out. Do we have a name?
As you say that, you're looking around and you can see something that wasn't there before, but there's an old TV set now on the counter at the entrance of the motel. And as you look, it flickers to life. And as you keep looking, you see an image appear, an image that you recognize well, of a figure dressed in red with a mask and full-on garb, staring at you through the television.
Listen, I gotta go. Just
What's going on?
don't worry about it. Unfinished fucking business, I guess. But if you don't hear from me in a few hours, I'll call you back from this line. Come to Ruby Foo's and bail my ass out.
Ruby Foo's the hotel? Wait, that's just across the way from the pyramid.
She's gonna hang up on him. Like mid-sentence. And she's gonna go inside.
As you approach the television, you see that figure in there, in that TV. Standing there, sort of swaying, its head moving. And as you approach the counter, you see littered everywhere these pamphlets that weren't there a little while earlier. They're littered on the floor and on the counter and sort of everywhere.
I pick one up.
You pick one up and you see that they are pamphlets advertising the weekly films over at a place called Cinéma L'Amour. Now, Cinéma L'Amour is a landmark in Montreal. It's on Saint Laurent Street, and it's an adult film theater, an old school adult film theater. Now, it's not necessarily a trench coat brigade kind of thing. They do a lot of things for couples and special evenings and special things like that. It's not just a whack palace. But it is the one and only adult theater in Montreal, and it's listing just a bunch of films that make no sense. They feel to you as you check it out like they might not be real adverts, but there's a whole bunch of these pamphlets everywhere. And as you're taking this in and looking at this, sound comes on the television and you immediately recognize Cecilia's voice, and she's just saying over and over in a choked out, tearful voice, "Hurt me more. Hurt me more." Over and over and over in the face of L'Enfant just staring at you through that coolish red mask.
Margot's gonna shove one of those pamphlets into her pocket with her keys, and she's gonna take a look at that TV screen. Can I give it like a once over to see if there's a camera watching me in return?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation plus intelligence roll.
I would love to do that for
Actually,
you.
before you do that, go ahead and give me a rouse check. Yes, that's right. We love rouse checks here.
0 success.
Excellent news. So yeah, now go ahead and give me a intelligence plus investigation.
Would love to do that for you there, Bleaky. 1 success. Regular schmegular success.
You don't see anything. You do see old security cameras, but they really don't look like they're functioning. Like it's clear that the cables to them are detached or they're pointing in the wrong direction and so on and so forth. And in fact, when you're investigating, kind of looking around, you realize the TV itself's not plugged. There's no power cord. It's just sitting there. And the second you realize that, it goes dead.
I think just in her moment of rage, and a lot of what makes Margot is just rage. It's her blood type. It's who she is. And I think in that moment of rage, she like shakes the TV really violently. Listen here, you motherfucker. I'm gonna fucking come for you, and I will fucking tear every tooth out of your skull, every finger off of your hand. And then she's just gonna throw the television set down as hard as she can.
It explodes in a bunch of pieces. The screen shatters. It's an old plastic TV. It breaks apart. Pieces fly everywhere, and just as it kind of settles, you hear one last, "Hurt me more."
I think she leaves the television there broken, just giving it the finger like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And now she's mad. At first she was a little bit nervous, but now she is just full of that rage. But she knows she's got an obligation, and she knows she has work to do. And she's going to start making her way up to that top floor. Yeah, or to
the top floor. Sorry. You go upstairs, running up because the elevator is clearly not working. Mm-hmm. That hall that you remember, that strange hall with those strange flesh sculptures that Ruby had mounted on those pedestals along the hall. The statues are all gone. Some of the pedestals are on the side broken. Others are just standing there covered in dust. The carpet is old and threadbare. The wallpaper is peeling off. There's water damage in one corner. Everything is eerily dark and quiet.
I think she just rushes. She knows she needs to get to the cinema, but I think she's just going to rush down that hall to Ruby and sort of barge in without so much as a knock.
You burst in, and you clearly remember the layout of Ruby's room, and this is clearly that room. You can see where the sarcophagus was in one corner with the sand from her birthplace. You can see the wall where there was that wall of flesh and that wall of faces. It has been completely torn down, and it's just like studs now. Everything has been ripped off. The carpet itself is gone also. It's as if someone has come in here and tried to clear out the place, but left halfway finished. There's an old scent of blood in the place, of like old blood, but you don't see anything else. Except on the wall furthest from you. The wall has been repainted red, and on it you see a symbol that looks like a moon inside a flower.
Do I recognize this symbol at all?
Go ahead and give me a intelligence and occult roll.
I would love to do that.
Hey Patrick, welcome in, man. How's it going? Not snow up your way yet? We're getting it right now. We do.
It is 2 success, but it's the one with the onk and the 2 pips on one of them.
That's okay, that's fine. You just don't want to have 2 of those. If you have 2 of those, then it can be a problem. If you have just a 1, then it's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of familiar. You've seen something like it before, and as you kind of scrape through your memory and try to remember, although the symbol itself you don't recall specifically, it does feel like those stories you've heard of Lilith, the Dark Mother and all that, like the idea that she's a gardener and she's associated to the moon and all that, like it feels like it might be associated to that, perhaps.
I think seeing Ruby gone, there's almost a moment of sadness with Margot. She sort of held this level of respect for Ruby, for her age and the bargain that she was willing to make with her. But there's also this disappointment that she's gone. She was hoping perhaps to get more information out of her, even if it meant making another deal. But
I will say you get the feeling she's not dead, though. You don't get the sense that there was that level of violence or something like that. Then here, you get the feeling like either maybe she wasn't really here before, or she's moved out of her own accord. You don't get the sense that she died here. I'd say that much.
I think she just curses under her breath, like, fuck, I needed you to be here, Ruby. What the fuck?
Sim cheese, what are you gonna do?
I tell you. I think that's what she... Fucking sim cheese. God damn it. And she looks back at that pamphlet that she got of that cinema, sort of grits her teeth and she goes, that's just great. Great. Love that. Love this, actually. Love this entire thing. And she's sort of talking to herself out loud as she's walking out of the room. Son of a gun. Shoves it back into her pocket and heading back downstairs and is going to head towards that cinema.
You drive across town in your classic OG Ford Bronco, driving over the mountain, heading for Saint Laurent Street, wondering exactly what the heck all of this means and kind of what's going on. You get the sense as you're driving there that there's something big and momentous kind of happening, and you don't know what, but you get the feeling that you kind of came back and stepped right in it, and there's something that's occurring right now that kind of unclear to you, but that is happening. And as you pull up to the cinema itself, it's dark. It's after hours. The street itself is very quiet, very dark. The landmark, the old sign of the place, the red and yellow infamous sign of the cinema, is dark. The lights inside, you can see the lights of posters of films, those lighted film posters, but otherwise everything is very dark and quiet again. And you can't recall, when you're in a city and you happen to have to get up really early, so you're up even before rush hour, like that kind of feeling of emptiness that the city has and stillness, that's what you're picking up right now. That's what you're feeling right now, even though it's maybe around 2 in the morning or something like that. Parking is not an issue. You pull up, like I said, there doesn't seem to be anything going on.
Liminal is the word.
You would know.
Liminal space.
We know how much you're fond of the liminal.
I am.
Not the luminal, but the liminal.
The liminal. I think Margot gets out of the truck. I think she thinks twice about maybe calling Vico back and just letting him know that she's moved locations. But she feels like his Lasombra spidey senses might be tingling regardless. So she leaves that alone and takes a moment as she gets out of the truck and looks at this Cinema L'Amour and sort of finds her gumption, for lack of better words, before heading across the street and towards the front doors. Does it look like there's anybody at all inside?
No, it doesn't. It looks quite empty. When you put your hand on the door and try it out, it's unlocked.
As she's opening it, she just mutters to herself, how convenient, as she steps inside.
As you walk in, you see that those lit up posters that you thought were film posters are various images of l'enfant terrible. at work doing terrible things. Give me, as you take a look at them, why don't you go ahead and give me a wits and insight roll.
Ooh. If I use a night move, what do
You
I
get 2 extra dice.
Okay, and I can add dice. Well, I didn't need it, so I'm not going to use that night roll. If that's fine with you, because I got 3 successes. I hope that's enough.
Yeah, that's fine. Something that strikes you is that as you look at all of them closely, one, they appear to be from very different time periods, going all the way back to the 70s, like as far as the fashion of the people and the way the image is done, but also, even though they're wearing exactly the same thing in each image, all of these enfants terribles appear to be very different physically. Like, one is very big and burly and broad-shouldered, another one is very slim and small, another one is tall and gangly. They all appear to be very different, but from each image is the same level of malevolence and just evil that kind of radiates from it.
I think for this moment, Margot shows great restraint in not bashing out all of those images one by one with her cane. So I think we should all give her a round of applause for that. That being said, I think she wants to delve deeper into the cinema. She's going to look for the furthest door to the back.
There's a set of double doors that lead to back. You realize there's only one showroom in here, and as you approach that set of double doors, you see light playing underneath it. Like, there's light on the other side of this thing. You don't really hear much in the way of noise, but you definitely see light. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you pull the doors open?
Yeah, I think she does, slowly, and sort of peeking her face in first to get a cursory glance at what's going on.
You open it, and you find that the screen is lit up. There's no one sitting in the seats anywhere. But there is a film playing. If you'll give me a second here, I'll tell you a little bit about what you see on the screen as you watch this thing go on. As soon as you open the door, the film opens with slow, saturated shots of a young woman with deep brown skin and a mane of black curls, kneeling among twisting vines and swollen fruit. The garden that she is tending is neither wholly benevolent nor malignant. It comes with life that feels ancient and primal, filmed in amber light and shadowy greens. Insects are buzzing, flowers swaying in the breeze. The soundtrack is a mix of analog synth and wordless choral voices drifting between tenderness and dread. The young woman's movements in the garden are slow, ritualistic. She trims, waters, hums. The camera lingers on her hands, pressing into soil so dark it looks like ink. And then you see a figure, cloaked entirely in red, enter in behind her. The camera never shows its face. In one gloved hand, it's holding a heavy sickle, its blade flashing once in a shaft of sunlight. Without words, the figure seizes the gardener, the violence conveyed through disjointed editing, shots of torn petals, flailing vines, from her hand dropping a crimson flower. The garden suddenly falls silent. When the red figure drags her away, the garden wilts and bruises, its hushness turning gray and still. Days later, perhaps seasons, time appears to be fluid. Another woman appears. She's different yet strangely familiar, lighter of step, but with the same tenderness. She feels ancient, like a primeval spirit, or Gaia herself. She kneels, touches the dying plants, and whispers to them. The soundtrack swells with reverse strings and low breathing. Slowly, the garden revives. Tendrils twitch, flowers open again, vines crawl across the ground. And as she tends with love and care, the garden grows wilder than before, a living labyrinth of green and black. The camera tilts and drifts as the vines begin to move of their own accord. Then, as the red figure returns, sickle glinting again, the garden itself awakens. Roots coil around the intruder's boots. Thorns pierce the red cloak. In a sequence of slow motion and color bleed, the figure is dragged screaming into the soil. The first woman emerges from the undergrowth, alive, pale, covered in dirt and tears. The two women embrace, hold each other. The soundtrack quiets to the sound of rustling leaves and heartbeats. Then, with a screech of violin, the red figure emerges from beneath them, loam and water running down its red robes and mask. The sickle rises and both women are torn to pieces, the garden drowning in a flood of blood and pain. The screen turns red. And as it turns red, words appear. There is no room for mercy or tenderness in the hand of the one who would cull the garden. There is no room for pain and hatred in the one who would tend to it and make it grow. Then the film abruptly cuts to a dark garden and you see yourself cradling Cecilia in your arms. The sun is rising. The music intensifies. The scene stays like this for a long time in a long shot. Then a burn mark appears. The film starts to dissolve and burn. The film projector stops turning. It's quiet. You see at the front of the house, near the screen, is another door. Painted red, it opens slowly.
I go towards it.
You approach the door, you see that there's a stairwell leading down. At the bottom of the stairs, you see a dark hallway. Lit in neon above the doorway is a sign, words that read, "Disappear here."
I follow it down.
As you go down the stairs, the scent of loam and vegetation, both alive and rotting, the smell of ozone, that wet smell of humidity, the smell of vines, of flowers, of trees, starts to surround you. It gets stronger and stronger as you approach the dark hallway. Inside, you can hear the sound of birds chirping, animals rushing, moving through the underbrush, leaves being scattered and kicked around. A faint breeze brings back all that smell of nature to you.
I think she hesitates for a moment in her steps. I think it's been quite some time since Margot has experienced any moment of nature, especially something so alive, sounding and smelling as this. And I think that frightens her for a moment. She can handle dead things, but life so flourishing is a little bit scary. But nonetheless, Margot continues.
As you walk down the hall, the place is dark. The ground becomes soft under your footfalls. You can feel that you're walking on earth rather than on the floor that you saw, the tiled floor that you saw. Eventually, at the other end of the corridor, you see a light, and you don't see the fauna or the flora, but you see its outlines in silhouette against this light. You get the sense that you're in this broad, wide night garden somewhere. And then from out of the shadows you see a figure detach itself from the darkness. It's a woman with dark skin and dark hair. She's wearing simple baggy dark pants, no shoes, and a pale top. The thing that strikes you the most about her is that in her face you see bits and pieces of every culture and every race in the world. In the shape of the eyes or the mouth or the nose or the style of the hair or the color of the skin or anything else. It's like a mixture of every type of person that exists in the world. Daughter of Shadows. And we finally meet face to face.
And who the hell are you?
We've been talking for some time. In the dark of the abyss. Grandmother, you called me, but I think the term mother would be better. More apt, more specific. You may call me Lilith.
Oh. I get it. Got it. So, are you the one I should be happy to see? Or should I go ahead and lay down and show you my belly?
To be fair, there was a time where I would have thought some people might be happy to see me, but I doubt that is any longer the case. I don't think anyone in this world now has any cause for being happy to see me, the least of which those who are prepared to do what I require of them. I take it you've heard stories.
I know a tale or two.
Most of them are true, many are false. More importantly, what is it that you believe, if anything?
I don't know if I believe in much, Mother. Not after what I've seen.
You've seen the same things I have. You've seen the power of cruel men, the fate of the women under their thumbs, how we are an afterthought, if not simply a pleasurable one. You've helped so many of us. In your time, I've watched you for a very long time from the shadows. You have devoted your life to helping those who can't help themselves, and that is remarkable and laudable. You have done great work, Margot.
Well, I'm so glad that you think so. problem is some of my greatest work right now is being a little bit jumbled up by a big problem who keeps fucking mocking me and mocking me here where you are. Weird, right?
Terrible child.
Yep.
I have
Big
seen your
problem.
struggles with him.
Yep. So, Mother, Lilith, are you here to help me or not?
Let's put a pin in that for now. Let's see how the evening progresses.
Oh, wow. Color me interested then. Tell me, how does this evening progress?
Cecilia is very special. She has a long, beautiful life ahead of her if she survives tonight. And this is not a threat. I am not in possession of her. I know what she means to you. You are like mother to her. Mother she never had.
You can see that rage boiling in Margot. Again, she sort of thins her lips out and she starts talking through her teeth. She is pretty fucking important to me.
Why is that? What does she remind you of? Which of your failings does she speak to that you feel this strongly about her well-being when she is not your own blood?
I don't know how long you've been watching me for. What do you know?
I want to hear it from you. I want to hear the conviction in your voice. I need to know how determined you are.
You're a real son of a bitch for that, you know that.
I'm a real son of a bitch for oh so many things, but which son of a bitch? The son of which bitch is the question, because there was none before me. I am the primordial bitch. I am the first. I am the Dark Mother. All that walk on this earth, especially the monstrous, the hated, the feared, sprung from my loins, from my blood, from my flesh.
Yep. Well, you know what? Fuck you, because you know exactly why I look out for Cecilia and what fucking failing of mine I see the most in. That fucking kid. And you know it's that fucking husband of mine. Or was. Surely he's long dead now. But we all know what the failure is. It's me. Are you satisfied?
I won't be satisfied till this entire place, entire world, and all who walk upon it have paid the price, but that is neither here nor now. Margot, how far would you go to protect Cecilia, to care for her? What sacrifices would you make?
To hell and back.
The relationship between a mother and her children is always a difficult one. I find it especially difficult with my daughters. They tend to vex me the most, because they're most like me, I guess. Margot, a mother must know when to punish, but also when to cradle and care. I know that few things in this world are more dangerous than a mother when her brood is in danger, but sometimes a mother must set aside her own desires for vengeance, for blood, care for the ones who need it most. I have a task for you, Margot.
Oh, great. Love that.
But before I can tell you about it, I need to see exactly what you're made of. I will show you a few things, and when you are done, I will ask you if you wish to help me. You have to tell me that you do, of your own volition, very clearly. If you do not, you can simply walk away. But as I said, there are a few things I must show you first. And unfortunately, life is pain, and you don't get a choice in whether or not you see these things. Margot, you're in the sanitarium. You are cold. You are lashed to a chair. You are in this dirty, ripped up, wet shift that you've been wearing for months now that's barely ever seen any water other than the one that they've just splashed on you. Your legs are bound to the legs of the chair. Your hands are bound to it. You watch as in the room with you are two people, your husband and another man you don't recognize. And ignoring your calls and ignoring your pleas, you see them pull on red surgery gowns and put on surgery hats and put on red surgery masks and gloves. And in a moment, they look exactly like l'enfant terrible. One of them is holding a bone saw, the other one is a sickle. They turn and move towards you, both of them. What do you do?
Well, fuck. I start trying for the bindings to at least get my feet up and out of the way.
You start turning your wrists around, trying to move your ankles. The bindings they've used, this kind of very sharp metal wire immediately starts to dig into you. You feel it cut through your flesh. You feel it scrape on bones. Immediately, blood starts to flow. They stop as they watch you struggle. You can tell they are enjoying this. They are enjoying watching you in pain. They stand there a few feet away from you and watch as blood runs out of your body and spittle flies out of your mouth and screams erupt from your throat.
I think seeing their amusement, Margot ceases all movement.
Your husband reaches up and lowers his mask, and you can see his face. You were always such a disappointment, Margot, but we're going to fix you. It's going to be just fine. And then the other one, the one with the sickle, moves forward and with one swift move embeds the tip of it inside your throat and cuts through. You try to scream, but you can't. He steps back, sickle embedded in your throat torn open. The two of them look at you. You're standing outside the home of Dr. Michaud. It's warm out. It's the middle of the day. It's a long time ago. He's got this beautiful home outside the suburbs of Toronto. It's one of those old Victorian homes with a tower in it, and on the second floor, you know, is where his office is. That's where you've always met with him. Tell us a little bit about Dr. Michaud as you stand outside his home and remember him for the first time in some time.
He was the nicest man, no, the kindest man that Margot ever knew. He was gentle. and seemed to understand the pain that I was experiencing. He was such a vastly different individual than my husband, and so very patient. I didn't feel so crazy speaking to him.
As you look up, you see in the window of his office, on the top of that little tower, Cecilia's face looking down at you. She raises her hand to wave at you. And as she does, you see a red-gloved hand come around, grab her face, and pull her away, and the curtains close.
I go for the door.
You push through the door. Inside, the place is exactly as you remember it. The old Victorian style is still very much in evidence. Rows of books everywhere. A beautiful, massive, antique wooden table. You see the couch and the chair where the two of you would spend so many hours talking, and where he uncovered so much about you, and where he exposed finally what he truly was to you and gave you the gift that you have now. And you rush up the stairs. When you get up there, things have changed. You're now not in his Victorian home, but you're in some kind of institution somewhere. The walls are this institute green. There's this massive door with a window in it, and when you approach it and you look through it, you see the exact same scene you just saw, except that it's Cecilia that is attached and bound to the chair. And you see one figure in red with the surgical mask and the hat and the sickle in hand. And it looks over its shoulder at you through the window. It taps the sickle to its forehead, and then it turns and he starts to cut on Cecilia. What do you do?
I turn my back. I turn my back to the door and press my back to it, and I don't look.
You hear Dr. Michel's voice. You can save her. You can take her.
But won't I end up somewhere else, chasing after her?
You see a shape move in the shadows, and as he leans forward, you realize it's Dr. Michaud. He's sitting in his usual chair where he would talk to you, and as he leans forward, most of him is in shadow still, but you see enough of an outline of his face. You know it's him. What she is looking for, Margot, is someone who has what she doesn't. The ability to care and love. Whoever she is, the person you met who calls herself Lilith, is on a very dark path. A path of culling, beheading, blood and fire and death and ash, and there is no room in that for whatever mercy or love or tenderness is left in her heart. She needs someone who can take care of those things for her. And for all your rage, Margot, rage is something that makes us act in the moment, but is not sustainable, is not something that keeps us going. Caring is what keeps us going, and you've kept going for oh so very long. Because despite their best efforts, despite their knives and their sickles and their claws and their teeth, they have not yet managed to cut every piece of you that is good and that matters. When you walk into that room, You will have two choices: to try and kill him and assuage your rage and your bloodlust, or to care for her. And whichever one you decide to do will decide what happens to you next.
I think with all of the force in her, Margot leans forward and then slams her back into the door to push it open and spins around to face the two of them. And she absolutely beelines for Cecilia.
You rip open the door, beeline for her. As you walk in, L'Enfant Terrible turns towards you. He doesn't have his mask on. You can see that it's Dr. Michel's face staring at you. You hear her voice speaking through you. They're all the same in the end, Margot, and all of them will pay. But the Dark Mother is concerned only with punishment. The Mother is concerned with care. I am the Dark Mother. Which mother do you want to be?
In a very quiet and small voice that most don't ever get to hear from Margot, she says back, I want to care.
You are sitting in the cinema. Film comes to an end. You clutching Cecilia on the screen. You cradle her. Sun is rising. She smiles at you. The title of the film comes up. The Mother in the Garden of the Moon. You are the one I was hoping would come, Lilith says, sitting next to you. One whose instincts are to protect rather than destroy. The things I must do now, I can't do if I have an ounce of love or care or empathy in my heart. I would give you these things to safekeep for me until my work in the garden is done. Then I will return for them, and once again be the nurturing mother. But for now, I must be the Dark Mother. Will you, Margot, keep these things safe for me?
I've played your game. And now you offer this. But I want one more thing in return. I want this torment from this terrible child to end.
She gets up. She walks to the back of the room. And she opens the double doors that lead back towards the front of the cinema. She holds them open for you.
That's it. I'm willing to help you now, Lilith.
Don't be so hasty, Margot. Come and see what I have for you here.
She gets up. Is Cecilia still with her?
No, Cecilia was with you in the film.
Oh, yeah, okay. She gets up and she starts walking towards the door.
As you approach the front, you immediately get the smell of blood assaulting your nose, and when you walk into the front of the cinema, you see on the ground the inert form of l'enfant terrible, blood seeping out of his red clothes, his sickle embedded in his throat, and you see Cecilia huddled in a far corner, hugging herself. And as soon as she sees you, she springs up and runs over to you. Margot! And she throws herself at you and wraps her arms around your neck. She's trembling and crying. Not an ounce of blood on her. You don't think that she's the one who did this.
Holding Cecilia, she looks back to Lilith and then back to the terrible child. What do you need me to do?
She looks at you and starts to choke. And these horrible, hacking, wet sounds come from her throat. And blood starts to pour from it. And she puts her hands under her mouth. And you see her heart vomited out of her mouth. It falls into her hands, blood dripping everywhere. This tiny, little, shriveled heart wrapped in thorns and vines. The remnants of a heart, really. Barely anything left, but just enough for it to still be worthy. And she reaches up with her two hands and offers it to you. Keep this safe for me, Mother.
I'll guard it with my life. And she takes it.
You take it and it's very warm and wet, but it feels barely but still alive. Cecilia looks around and grabs a popcorn bucket from behind the bar and just put it in here. It's fucking disgusting.
Very unceremoniously, Margot lowers the heart into the popcorn bucket.
Cecilia says, I'm gonna hoard. Take it.
Don't throw up on the heart.
It's too late for that, I think.
Don't do it.
Lilith looks at the two of you. You know one who is seeking your ward. A moon witch. Her body sheathed in ink from her fiery lover. She has a good use for Cecilia and will do her very best to keep her safe, but while you can trust her, you can't trust that events will work out. So be mindful in your decision whether or not to let her take Cecilia from you. I may return for these things I gave you, I may not. If I do not, love well with them.
Does the terrible child have a mask on?
He does.
Just one last thing. Can I see his face?
You can, but it's not going to tell you much. There have been many men who have been this creature, and I'm sorry to say there will be many more. They are not just one person. They are a breed, a type. And until my fires cleanse this world, they will always be around, but now they know. They know that they can be reached and they can be broken. These creatures are made by something in this city. There is something twisted, a decaying place, a portal that turns all the dreams into nightmares in this city, and there are many people currently who are trying to stop this. Your friends, I should say, the ones that were with you that night at the hotel are involved in this. If you feel like helping, you can reach out to them, but to be honest, I think you have a much more important charge now. And she looks at both the Heart and Cecilia. There are people who are taking care of these other problems. You should tend to your own garden for a little while. Enjoy watching it grow.
I will heed that advice.
When you see me again, after everything is over, I may not look like this. But you will always know me. I do not ask you to worship me or to follow me. I simply ask that you play this role that you have chosen to take. The nights ahead are dark and filled with blood and ash, but they will end. At some point they will end. And when they do, we will need people better suited to growing things than people suited to cutting them down. And so I will save this last thing. She reaches out and she puts a hand on your shoulder. Endure. And she gives you a kiss on the forehead. You and Cecilia are alone now. In the cinema, the body of L'Enfant Terrible is on the floor in front of you. The place is dark and quiet again.
I walk to the body. I want to see the face.
You reach down and pull the mask up. You've seen this face 12 times, 100 times. You've seen it in your husband, in the doctors from the sanitarium. You've seen it in men who have hurt you and men who have loved you, who have taken good care of you, who have made you feel good, who have made you feel bad. You've seen it in men that you've seen crossing the street, sitting at tables with other men or other women. It's a face that you could see anywhere, anytime. There is nothing remarkable about it.
Interesting. And I don't so much put the mask back over the head, I just sort of lay it over the face with not much care per se, but gently enough before I stand and look to Cecilia.
The fuck is going on, Margot? This is like a fucked up movie inside a fucked up movie, and I don't know what's going on.
I don't need you to know what's going on. I just need you to know that you're really important to me. And I'm really glad to see you.
Where were you when they took me?
I was going after you. I let my own personal rage get in the way of protecting you. But it's different now.
Who are these people? Who are you?
I'm still Margot, Cecilia. I have sheltered you from a lot, and there's much more that I can't tell you, and I'm sorry for that. I just need you to know that you're safe. I promise.
Can we get out of here? This place smells of rotten crotch and blood right now, and it's just getting to me.
Yeah. I've got a truck outside.
You have a truck.
I
You
bought a
hated
truck.
driving.
I do, but I needed it. So, don't ask too many questions. Um, why don't you take this? And she hands the popcorn bucket to
Do
Cecilia.
I have to?
Just listen to me and take it to the truck. I gotta make a call.
She looks inside. It's still there.
Just don't look at it. Why did you look at it?
Just morbid curiosity. I don't know. I just never eating popcorn again.
Sometimes there's consequences to our actions, Cecilia. It is what it is. Just get in the truck so I can make a call.
She pushes through the door and sees the truck, and as the door closes behind her, she goes, "Do you even have winter tires on this thing?" And the door closes behind her.
Fuck her winter tires. Last time I drove something, it was fucking 1935. Jesus Christ. God
it had a
damn.
horse attached to it.
Yeah. She calls Vico, though.
You see a phone booth near the entrance, and behind it are all these strange stickers of like old porn films and various dirty notes left behind, and for a good time call this number and that number, and you dial Vico's number and he answers right away. If you're calling, I assume that means you're okay.
I'm fine. Things have changed. Not in a bad way. I gotta handle something really quickly, but can I come see you later?
And of course, I'm a different place now. I'll get you the address.
Okay. I've just got one of those itches I can't quite scratch.
I've been meaning to tell you, be careful in the abyss. I don't think that whatever's in there is grandmother or anything good. I don't know what it is, but it's something different than what we thought.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm leaving it alone for now.
Probably best.
You should too.
Yeah, we have our hands full here. Wait till I tell you what we're cooking up.
I'll see you in a couple hours before sunrise then.
Okay, I'll send you my new address.
Okay.
Okay, be careful.
You too. And she clicks, hangs up. And she goes out to the truck to Cecilia.
I don't have the keys, she says, but she's leaning against the hood.
She digs the keys out of her pockets and opens it up.
When you put the key in the side, she's like, "Don't you have a remote control thing?"
This truck was built in 1994.
I wasn't alive back then.
I know, Cecilia. Get in the fucking truck.
I'm gonna put this in the back seat, okay? Puts the popcorn bucket on the floor in the back.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Are we calling the cops? There's a dead body in there.
They'll figure it out in the morning.
Breaking the law, she says as she climbs aboard the truck.
Oh my god, I love that song. And she flips song. I think she's got a tape deck in there, and it's like a mixed tape of like
old 80s heavy metal. And
heavy metal songs. Mr. Crowley's on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
We going home?
Yeah, we're gonna go home, kid.
Hey. Thanks for coming to get me.
I'll always come and get you, I promise.
I knew you would. Just, maybe hit the gas next time.
Yeah, I'll remember that one. I had some shit to figure out. But hey, you're fine. Unscathed. What do you want, an ice cream?
Yeah, but I don't know if we're going to be able to find one at this time of night. You know what I'm doing? I'm quitting my job. I don't think I want to wait tables for a caterer anymore. That's just too dangerous.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a great idea. I think, you know what? Hear me out. You can come stay at my place for a bit. Right, get rid of that shitty ass apartment. Don't worry about a job. Maybe go back to school.
Do you still have plants in your shower?
Yeah, where else do you put the plants?
Okay.
Where else do you put plants?
I don't know, in the living room?
How am I gonna water them?
You fill up... never mind, I'll show you. I was going to say bucket, and it made me think of the popcorn bucket, and then I thought of the heart, and now I think I'm on your earth again, and she rolls the window down and puts her head up against the open window.
Just stare at the road ahead. Just stare straight. That's what I was told once. I was on a horse and buggy. What? Anyway.
As you drive off, where are you heading off to? Just going home, or...
Yeah, she's gonna drop Cecilia off at home and get her like sort of situated at Margot's home.
Mm-hmm.
And like quickly like deadbolt every door in the house or exterior door in the house. I think she puts the popcorn bucket with the heart under her bed. Imagine Margot's got a spare bedroom. And she's going to once she's settled, she's going to go see Vico.
You easily enough make your way to his new place. He's got a penthouse downtown. A far cry from the underworld place where he used to live before. But when you ring and come up, you realize it looks exactly like his old place. Same layout, everything, the dark glass on the walls and the floors and the ceiling everywhere, and it's just exactly the same. And you get the feeling that, it's probably something kinky at play, but he opens the door and greets you and says, it's been a while since I've opened the door to you, but feels good. Come on in.
I don't even think she like gives him a chance to finish that last little bit, and mouth on his mouth. She's pushing her way into him.
He's very happy to reciprocate. Let me ask you, Bones, is that your only intention in coming here tonight, or is there something else you wanted to discuss with him?
I think she's just blanking him. Crazy style.
Crazy style. He pulls you in, closes the door behind you, and just as it always has, once the door is closed and once the two of you start going at it and your shadows start to emanate from you and you no longer know whether you're still in the apartment or somewhere in the abyss in his oubliette or anywhere else, the place is just this vast, unending void of darkness around you that does not feel alienating. It feels welcoming and warm. And as the two of you do terrible things to each other, as Lasombras are wont to do, you, for a moment, feel like there is another presence there, someone watching you, just very fleetingly. And then you get a sense of mirth. And then that presence departs. And in that moment of that presence of mirth, you get the feeling that this is something, a feeling that this presence hasn't felt in a very, very, very long time. And as you and Vico lay there in that darkness afterwards, he says, "Where the hell have you been?"
Just taking care of a few things. Don't hold it against me, Vico, please.
No, of course not. You're free to come and go as you want. Just worried a little, but I guess you're fine.
Better than ever. And there's a decided and very noticeable softness to her in this moment.
He certainly notices that and kind of takes a moment and looks at you. Says something a little different about you, but I like it. Did I tell you that Fletcher, Elise, and I are planning to create our own bloodline? And
No,
on that
you
note,
missed
my
that
friends,
one.
on that note, my friends, we're going to end tonight's little session
Holy moly!
of Dark Mother Preludes.
Mother!